In the words of DJ Khaled, another one! Hello, my fam. It is Perez, the queen of all media, the original influencer, and your number one source for everything It Ends With Us saga. Let's do a quick reminder. First, in December of last year, Justin Baldoni's former publicist Stephanie Jones sued him for breach of contract. That is ongoing. Then, the wench of multitudes sued him as well. That is also still ongoing. Then he filed his own lawsuit against Cherokee Khaleesi. Then, just a couple of weeks ago, I told you all that an insurer that Justin Baldoni and his Wayfarer Studios took out 2 policies with sued them. They are trying to deny coverage and want a declaration that Harco, the company, is not responsible for any of the Baldoni Wayfarer legal bills. Well, now Baldoni and crew are suing several other insurance companies in a lawsuit that was just filed in California. This really is the gift that keeps on giving. Thank you. Filed in Los Angeles Superior Court, Baldoni accuses New York Marine, QBE Insurance Group Limited, and certain underwriters at Lloyd's of breach of contract for denying coverage of the lawsuit filed by Ridicula. In total, the policies collectively carry at least $8 million in insurance. And yes, I had been told that his co-founder in Wayfarer Studios, billionaire Steve Sarowitz, is paying all the legal bills, but he didn't become a billionaire by not being smart. Although, is this smart? I don't know. I don't know how these things usually play out. Insurance companies definitely don't like to pay. However, as Harco argued in their lawsuit they filed against Baldoni and crew, they tell the court that there was an obligation to inform the insurers when applying that there was drama that could lead to a lawsuit. And Wayfarer did not do that. In this lawsuit, Wayfarer and Baldoni argue that the insurers sold Wayfarer and It Ends With Us movie insurance policies promising to defend and indemnify the insureds against, amongst other things, lawsuit alleging defamation. After the insureds were sued by Blake Lively in a lawsuit alleging defamation and various other claims, the insureds notified the insurers and requested that the insurers defend them and otherwise honor their duties under their policies. However, instead of doing so, the insurers ignored their duty to defend while they purported to investigate. They then denied coverage, breaching their duties, refusing to honor of their duties to the insureds. Therefore, the insurers are liable for breach of contract and tortious bad faith and are liable to their insureds for compensatory, consequential, and punitive damages. Whoa. Not only are they seeking money for all the legal bills, but now it seems, if I'm reading this correctly, they want even more. I'm starting to get a little nervous because it seems like this lawsuit was put together pretty quickly. Unless they were already prepping it, expecting this outcome. The complaint says that on July 28th, this past week, The Insureds Council responded to New York Marine's May 15, 2025 letter explaining why New York Marine was wrong in denying coverage and asking New York Marine to withdraw its denial of coverage, to agree to defend the insureds and to pay for the attorney's fees and costs that the insureds have incurred and continue to incur in defense of the lively lawsuit. New York Marine has not assumed its duty to defend. Wayfair and It Ends With Us movie have been paying for the defense of Misters Baldoni, Heath, and Sorowitz in the lively lawsuit. They are entitled to be reimbursed for all such defense fees and costs they have paid. No actual number amount was cited in the 9-claim Los Angeles Superior Court complaint, but it's probably easily millions. By now, I would guess well over 5 million. A guess. It could be double that. Who knows? I do know firsthand that just one of his attorneys, a really good one, his hourly rate is over $1,000. I think it's over $1,200. A lot. Okay, imagine that one lawyer billing over $1,200 an hour, or $1,300, or whatever the number is. I don't even remember. Okay, don't quote me. I'm not saying who. I don't know who it is. It could be anybody. All right. Just imagine that. The math be mathing, and it adds up real quick. And some of you might be asking why Baldoni and Wayfair had all of these different companies insuring them. It's because each one played a different part. I am learning so much, not just about the law, but also about how films are made. New York Marine covered personal and advertising injury, which was defined as material that slanders or libels and violates a person's right to privacy. QBE covered losses arising from claims against It Ends With Us, including productions made by the company. That sounds very similar, actually. And Lloyd's covered multimedia liability and advertising injury for invasion of privacy and defamation, as well as professional liability for breach of contract. Wait, I am so confused. There is so much overlap between these policies. And also what's interesting is the timing of everything. The A-lister, in her own mind, filed the lawsuit against Baldoni and Wayfair back in December of 2024 on New Year's Eve. I will never forget it. But Wayfair did not notify the insurance companies until April. Why wait so long? And as I told you, they all denied coverage, but cited certain exclusions, which they claim weren't disclosed. Exclusions. When asked for public comment, Baldoni and the Wayfarer crew were shockingly mum and said nothing. And I just realized I forgot one of the lawsuits earlier. I told you all the first one was Stephanie Jones suing him. Well, he filed his own lawsuit against Stephanie Jones. And speaking of that other lawsuit, there's been a lot of back and forth this week over some tag Melissa Nathan's company employees not responding or giving enough information over, and oh God, Jesus Christ. But in a sign of solidarity over in the Jones case, collectively, Stephanie Jones, Baldoni, Wayfarer, and crew all asked the judge for an extension of time, moving the end of document production to September 30th And Judge Lyman, who's overseeing that one as well, agreed. Aww. Crazy, 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 crazy. All right, my friend, let's end where we began with the insurance drama. 2 questions. What do you think should happen there? And what do you think will happen there? Let's discuss everything in the comments section.